Hey guys, Vlad back here with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you my Eldritch Synchro Dragoon deck profile. Yes, I did manage to get my hands on the new card from the 2020 Megatins, as well as some nice little shiny upgrades for the extra deck. Dragoon has finally come out. Will it be such a meta-impacting card as people think it will? I'm not too certain at the moment. I definitely think the card is good, do not get me wrong, but I don't think it's as format warping as people think it is. There's quite a numerous ways to out it, which are already being played in decks, and it does just make the good decks better, if that makes any sense anyway. So I don't think the more rogue strategies will be able to, they won't get the hugest boost from this, because every deck can virtually just make Dragoon. But anyway, without further ado, let me just get into the deck. I know this is a bit of a resident sleeper deck because it is just a meta deck. However, I did want to, show this off just for, the more competitive viewers and my take on Synchro Eldritch anyway. So starting off with 2 Eldritch the Golden Lord, aka 2 Eldritch the Bank Destroyer. Yeah, I kind of you don't really have to play 3 in this deck just because you have quite a few ways to open with it, with Cursed Land as well, and also with the elixirs obviously, but you don't really need 3 just because it's not really the main focus of the deck. Obviously that does help you grind, but just going first is essentially dead unless you have the Jet Synchron, which we'll get into now. So for the Synchro package, I'm just playing the 3 Jet Synchron and the 2 Lion. There's no Despot 001 this version, just because you don't actually have to play that card. Unless you're doing a different combo, I suppose. But yeah, I'll show you the combo on screen, maybe at the end of the video. I'm not entirely sure when, but the combo will be shown at some point. But yeah, you just need to play 2 Lion. It makes it so you can do Savage Herald, but also with the release of Dragoon, you can do a few cute new combo. You might potentially just can cut this down to 1, to be honest, but I'm playing 2 just because you might need to make a board on sometimes. So that is the Synchro package, and I'm also playing 3 Magician Souls and the 1 Apprentice Illusion Magician. I'm still playing this instead of the... so I'm not playing Dogma cards because the Dogma cards and Dragoon have really bad anti-synergy, at least if you're trying to go for the turn 1 combo. This deck is ideally wanting to just go for a turn 1 negate every single time, through any amount of hand traps, unless it's Crow. Crow is a bit weird. Crow makes it so you can't really do the combo, but whatever. Souls is absolutely amazing, obviously, in Eldritch decks. Discard the Eldritch spells and traps, draw cards, and then just get additional value just from having graveyard effects. Discard makes you go plus, and also it makes it so you can play through hand traps, because it means that your Jet Synchron's effect doesn't get used. So if you do get hand trapped, you still have the ability to discard a card for Jet Synchron and still be able to go through your plays, which is always nice. So that's where you're running that. And for hand traps, 3 Ash Blossom, Enjoy Springs, 3 Effect Veiler, and 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and 3 Infinite Impermanence while I'm at it. Yeah, just standard, just 12 hand traps. Not much to really explain here. Ogre is kind of neat, but I think it's maybe the worst one. I might play Nibiru instead of Ogre in the main. I'm not too certain. But one thing I am for certain is these 9 anyway. So Ash stops Red-Eyes Fusion if they hard draw it, which is always good, and also just still good against combo decks. And Veiler and Imperm makes it so it can stop Verte. And also it's just good against combo decks also. Ogre is a lot better against combo decks, and it's also kind of okay against control decks too. Not so much against something like Dogma Invoked, but it's still a passable card. It's just good against Synchro Eldritch, and it's good against Adamantipator, essentially. And also at the Infernoble Knight deck. Just kind of weird into some control decks that aren't Subterror and Altergeist. Even then, against Altergeist, I think this card's a bit mediocre. You could play Gamma instead of this, to be perfectly honest, but I just like Ogre just because it's kind of versatile. And then, the last 2 monsters in my deck are the 2 Bricks, the 1 Dark Magician, I never thought I'd be saying that, and 1 Red-Eyes Black Dragon, along with the 1 Red-Eyes Fusion. So as you know, basically just stick any 2 effect monsters into a Verte Anaconda and you get to make Dragoon. Kind of a silly combo, but yeah, I know that I'm not even using like the coolest versions of both of these. I did want to get a second DT. I want to get a DT Dark Magician so it matches the Red-Eyes. That would be cool, but I'll do that in the future, probably. I really like DT cards, and that's kind of why I chose these. However, if I had the choice, I would be playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anniversary Pack version of these, where they're like full art. One of my favorite card artworks of all time is the Red-Eyes, and you know that artwork. This artwork of Red-Eyes is actually kind of a close second. I really like this artwork too. And Ulti Dark Magician's kind of a gross. And yeah, I know, common Red-Eyes fusion. But you know, like my mom's credit card got spent on all these, so yeah. That was a joke. I spent all my money on these. So yeah. Dragoon engine. So this is kind of a weird one. So I'm gonna go with like the 3 tuning. I'll kind of go back to tuning, as weird as it sounds. So 3 I'll land and 1 White Destiny. White Destiny is like the second best elixir, even though like Black Awakening might seem like it is. The fact that White Destiny is a chainable card is way better than Black Destiny. Obviously, Black Destiny is a starter, whereas this is not. This is kind of like it's kind of like a brick almost. I think this card is still good, just because the versatility, just being able to not get Ice Dragon prisoned for your life. You kind of just really do need this. You really don't want your Elish hit in the graveyard. And obviously, the 3 cursed L land. Consistency booster in the deck, really nuts to open with Magician Souls. You just get so much value out of it. Just pay 100 for this, search something, Magician Souls, send this, just a bunch of draws, and a bunch of pluses. So back to tuning. So tuning is kind of weird with the Dragoon engine in this deck, because if you mill any one of these, you cannot do your Dragoon play ever, and that is kind of spooky. I'd maybe consider going, like, I've already gone over 40 with this deck. This is a 42 card deck, but I don't know. I think I just don't care if any of these get milled, because you can just go for Savage Herald then, and it doesn't really change anything. It does suck when it does happen though. You do have a lot more dead cards in your deck, so maybe you might want to like maybe play 2 Red-Eyes Fusion and like maybe 2 of each of these, maybe more Dragoons. I'm not entirely sure. Or you could maybe just play a different synchro package. I don't know. Tuning is a bit weird. But I think it's just necessary. Just Synchron's is just so good, especially in the Eldritch decks. And also the Dragoon package isn't like that necessary. It's just necessary for playing through hand traps, which I'll show later. And then for the traps, it's kind of like the standard 9 Eldritch spells and traps, the 3 Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, the 3 Conquistador of the Golden Land, and the 3 Aquarium of the Golden Land. You just want to max out on these. These are just the disruptions of the deck, and you do need these for the grind game. 3 Scarlet Sanguine is just the best elixir, in my opinion. Just the fact that its graveyard effect is chainable to things, so you can't get crowed ever on it, is like really nice. Unless they crow it in the turn you activate the card, that's whatever. Yeah, that's really it. Okay, that's the 42 card main deck. Very, very standard. Not too much to say about that. Let's get the deck out of the picture. And then for the extra deck, we've got the Big Daddy himself, Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon. So yeah, this card's pretty good. I'd probably play in a lot of decks, but there is quite a few decks that can't really play this card. Like, for example, like Infernoble Knight, you don't really want to play this card in Infernoble Knight. You're just adding more bricks into that deck, and it's just not very necessary. Your Infernoble Knight Charles is basically already Dragoon anyway. Just can't be targeted destroyed by card effects either, basically, because you're going to be equipping it with Infernoble Knight Olivier and Ogier. So it's like, it's just like the same card essentially at that point. But Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon is quite a good card. Like, especially in this deck, it makes it so that you can go Forbidden Droplet, negate a board, summon this, and you just kill them. Like, they're just dead. Like, it's amazing. Like, this card is absurd sometimes, but there is times where, like, going first, I think it's a lot worse than going second. This card going second is absolutely nuts. Although I will say that Rainbow Neos, I think, is a bit better at going second than Dragoon is, but Dragoon's ability to also go first and also have a negate also kind of gives it some edge in some departments. And then for the Link monsters, we got the 1 Link Karibo, you need this to start your plays, the 1 Link Cross to keep doing your plays, 1 Verte Anaconda to, make the guy. 1 IP Masquerena. So this is for when you get Nibiru'd. Yes, this is a prismatic secret from the Megatons. Nice little like sneak peek of her there. IP Masquerena is for when you get Nibiru'd. If you get Nibiru'd on the Martial Metal Marcher play, you can just because you're not going to be summoning a token off O-line yet, you can turn the Nibiru token, the O-line token, into this, and then you just make it like a unicorn on their turn, which is kind of cool. It's not very necessary though. This is like a completely optional card, to be perfectly honest. And then the Barricade Borg blocker. Ooh, rarity upgrade. It's a rare. It's the only Link 2 generic machine in the entire game, so that's where we're playing Barricade Borg. It makes a Rorodon. Although, like I said before, a Rorodon is not very needed anymore, but alas. Anyway, next to the Boogie Monster himself. You know, we're playing all the fun cards here. We're playing this one, we're playing this one, we're playing that one, we're playing that one, we're playing her, Roller Skates Girl, 2 Helk. You need this to, like... So, if Helk gets hit to 1, this deck is kind of weird, just because a lot of the power of LH Synchro is in the fact that you have the second slash third, sometimes, Helk Firebacks if you choose to play free. And it just gives you, like, pressure every single turn, because, like, as soon as you get a tuner on board, he's coming down. The Boogie Monster, he's coming to town, you know? So if this gets hit to 1, this does hurt this deck drastically. If your first Helk gets stopped, the game's a lot harder to win at that point. So you'd have to kind of think of more ways to, you know, win the game. Yeah. Anyway, for Link 3s, Celine. This is to go for access codes. It makes it so you don't have to, like, summon Jet Synchron or whatever off of your Helk every single time. Also, you play a lot more spells now. Also, cool play is that after the turn you use this, you can turn these 2 into Celine, and then you can use Celine to bring back Dragoon, which is really degenerate. Like, if your Dragoon gets outed, for example, and you're able to make a Celine, Celine can bring back your fucking Dragoon, and that's stupid. That's silly. You don't get the pop effect, but you do get the negate effect, which is pretty busted, if you ask me. Like, that's pretty good. Like, 1 sec. Let me just check. I'm not lying to you. Yeah, you can just do that. Yeah. Unfortunately, Celine does summon in defense mode though, so you have to keep that in mind. So yeah, that's like a kind of gross interaction this deck you can have. 1 Auroradon, once again, in case you do need to make it. 1 Unicorn, this is to make with your IP on your opponent's turn. It's also just a good Link 3. We're not playing Cyframe Zeta in this deck, or Formless Synchron, as you may have noticed, because if your Helk gets stopped in this deck, you don't care, because you're going to be making a Verte afterwards anyway, so you're never actually going to be summoning Formless Synchron in this deck. Then the 1 Access Chode Talker game, and also, you know, my mom's bank account paid for it. That's a joke once again. 1 Martial Metal Marcher. This is for the combo. 1 Herald the Arclight. You're gonna be usually ending on Herald the Arclight and Dragoon of Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon on your opening board instead of like Herald and Savage. Just because this is a lot more versatile. Well, not versatile, but you get me. This gets bigger than Savage sometimes, but also it destroys the card that it negates, which does just give it the small edge over Savage does sometimes. Like, there are scenarios where just you'd rather have this than Savage, and it comes up way more. Also, the fact that this can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects just makes it so it's so much better into trap matchups. Like, trap matchups with this deck are a lot better than old Synchro LH. Like, it's actually like night and day. The fact of just this card's existence just like it makes it so those matchups are so much more winnable. Last card in the Actor deck is the Borreload Savage Dragoon, also from the Megaton. Very, very, very pretty card. Unfortunately, you don't really summon this card as much, just because you're going to be making anything on this most of the time, but anyway. That was my Synchro LH deck, featuring Dragoon. I'll now show you guys the combo, quotation marks. So basically the combo is just Jet Synchron, discard. So you start off with, you make Hulk. Like, first of all, you need to make Hulk with a Link Creep Bone Grade. That's all you need to do. That's basically it. Anyway, so you make Hulk. You sack Fireback's effect. So this is for the people who don't know how this combo works, by the way. If you know the combo, you can kind of just like skip ahead. So we summon O-Line from our deck. They're returning the Hulk into a Link Cross. We're going to be using its effect to summon 2 tokens. I should have gotten tokens prepared. That was quite silly of me. Let's summon some Endinians. Yeah, let's summon World Championship 2019. Apparently, we're summoning World Championship apparently now. Anyway, so we're summoning 2 tokens off of our Link Cross. Then we're going for Martial Metal Marcher with these 2. Yeah. And then we are going to be using the effect of Martial Metal Marcher on O-Line, but we are not using O-Line's effect. That is very important to play around the Nibiru. Then at this point, we're going to be making Herald of the Arclight with the last token and the Martial Metal Marcher. And now you can make Verte and then summon Dragoon. Keep in mind, the materials, so as you know, Herald is basically a macro for anything sent from any monsters sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard. However, since that the effect of Red-Eyes Fusion is to fuse from the deck, so you can still use Verte under Herald is what I'm trying to say. Just because Herald says anything's banished instead doesn't mean that you still can't attempt to send them from deck to grave, because it's not a cost for Red-Eyes Fusion. And since that Herald only stops monsters going to the graveyard, it still lets you send Red-Eyes Fusion from deck to grave as cost. And then you're able to fulfill the cost by banishing the Red-Eyes Dark Magician from your hand or deck. It still works. Anyway, so now on to the reason as to why we do this play. So when we get to the point of Link Cross, let me rewind a bit. We get Link Cross, Martial Metal Marcher, and this, and the token. Okay, so the reason why we're not using O-Line's effect here is because if our opponent has Nibiru, so you have to Nibiru us at this point, because that's the point where we have, we threaten to make Herald basically. So if they don't have Nibiru, they get punished. Well, sorry, if they have Nibiru and they don't use it here, they get punished. But if they do Nibiru us, so we're gonna get Nibiru'd. We haven't used O-Line's effect here. That's the important part. So everything goes to grave. Then the effect of our O-Line activates, and then we're going to have a token from Nibiru, and now we're going to get a token from O-Line, and then we can turn both tokens into a IP. However, if you're a crackhead, if you're an absolute crackhead, you play 2 Link Spider in your extra deck and you make Verte. Like, if you're a crackhead. Now, here's the other play. Here's the other alternative play you can do. This alternative play is kind of obvious, but anyway. So just say your Halki Fibrax gets stopped, right? So you don't get access to the O-Line, for example. If you get stopped on Halk while you have Link Karibo in grave, this is what you do. It might seem obvious, but you turn into a Link Cross, you summon a token, you use Link Karibo, you make Verte. Now you have Dragoon. That's not Dragoon. That's not... You have Dragoon. Isn't that silly? Like, you could just play through a hand trap every single time, which is kind of gross. Alternatively, here's another little in-depth thing. So about the Nibiru play I said earlier. So if you open the nuts, which is Jet discarding Golden Lord basically, you can do a cool thing. So let's mark this as the O-Line token, and let's mark this as the Nibiru token. If you have a spell and trap that you can set, you can use Ellich's Graveyard effect to summon itself, and then you turn the Nibiru token and the Elich the Golden Lord into Barricade Board Blocker. This is why this card's relevant, by the way. You turn them into Barricade Board Blocker, and then you turn the O-Line token and the Barricade Board into a Rorodon. And then you can just like go off from there. Alternatively, if you don't want to make Savage and you want to do something better, you can just turn the Nibiru token, instead of turning them into Rorodon, you can just turn them into this, and then just turn the Elich and the Barricade Borg into Verte. So you can play through one hand trap extremely consistently with this deck. It's so easy to play through one hand trap now just because you have Verte now. It means that, like, hands with Magician Souls and stuff, you just get to make a Dragoon, like, every time. Like, they can't stop you. Like, what are they gonna do? Like they need to have 2 hand traps, because otherwise they're getting, like, heralded first, and then you have this. So, like, you can't win. You can't win. Deck's unbeatable. Deck's the best deck. Deck is the best deck. I can't speak today. And that's all there is to it. So, guys, that was my deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed. I know it's just a bland deck profile, and this was 20 minutes. But I did want to put this out there as the first deck profile with an actual Dragoon. It's probably not the first deck profile. Who am I kidding? There's probably 18 deck profiles already. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever else you YouTubers say. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/hypnocorn. Yeah, I opened some cases of Megatins. I might post some highlights of that on my YouTube. I have no idea. Might. It's kind of weird. It wasn't that exciting, to be perfectly honest. I only pulled one Dragoon, spoiler. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Follow my Twitter, join my Discord, and say I have nice thumbs if you stick to the end of the video. Bye!